Hello, Elizabeth. I am
Hello?
so delighted to have you here on the Veda Talks. You are in Los Angeles, California.
Yes, I
I'm
am.
in Leipzig, Germany. It's evening here, getting dark already, and you're just starting your day. I hope you are well.
I am. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah. I have to tell everyone how I first saw you or met you. It was, I believe, a couple years ago. You were on an Instagram live with Davidji, and
Okay.
you were in Bhutan. Is that how you pronounce it?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
that's
Wow.
it
That's
was the
incredible.
it was the first time I saw you. And David G is a friend of ours, obviously a really good friend of yours and meditation teacher. And so I had been following him and I saw you and I was, you were sharing your experience traveling through Bhutan and you had your phone, I think, as your camera, and the connection
Mhm.
was really, bad. I think we
Uh-huh,
lost you
uh-huh,
once or something,
uh-huh.
but you were so happy and joyful.
Yeah,
You're
yes.
like a kid in the candy shop, and
I love.
behind you were these green mountains and this big Buddha somewhere in the back. And I was like, who's this lady? And is she always this happy? Or is it because of Bhutan? And
Right.
that was it. And I think I would say you are a sunshine person. You're a very joyful person.
Mm,
And I would also say you've become a teacher of mine because I started following you from that point on and also started listening to your podcast, The Shadow and the Light, also with David G, with
yes.
many great spiritual teachings, life teachings. And yeah, and you are a psychotherapist, you're a meditation teacher, you're a mom. All those things resonate with me
Yeah.
and also my own healing journey of going through therapy and later on a lot of meditation work. And you do that in a
Yes.
very grounded, loving, and deeply human way, I find.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. What a compliment. I'm honored.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
And
how
I love that we got connected. And I didn't know that the first time that you connected with me was in Bhutan. That
yeah.
has a lot of impact on me in this moment
Yeah.
because it's such a profound place to visit that I had always wanted to go to. And I had gone to Tibet in 2000, no, 2001, and on a spiritual journey. And after that, I really knew I wanted to do Bhutan. And if it's okay, can I just say something about
Yeah,
Bhutan?
please do.
So for people that don't know, because many don't, Tibet is known for its spiritual, lineage and all that. Bhutan, what I was so fascinated by was the king of Bhutan. I think it was in the 70s,
Mhm.
was being interviewed. Um, and it was this place that was untouched. It was like truly Shangri-La. And they were the last country to have phones or the internet, that kind of technology. And so it was kind of untouched. And then they opened that up and they actually opened it to tourism. But one day the king was being interviewed and he said, I don't judge my country by the GNP, the gross national product. I judge my country by the GNH, the gross national happiness. So that's the thing that people know, if you know, about it. And that's really a thing, like that they are, well, people say they're the happiest people in the world. And here you're telling me this story. I'm really, really full of joy. I was. Um, you feel it everywhere you go. And I've traveled to a lot of places all over the world. And one thing that I notice is the animals. I think I probably mentioned that on the live. But there in Bhutan, there's, everywhere we go when we travel, we see stray animals. They exist everywhere. And the strays there look like, they're being tended to by Davidji. So I would be climbing to Tiger's Nest, which is this, incredible. place built on the side of a mountain, and as you're climbing, you see these well-fed dogs that are strays. Everyone takes care of them. And my story was when we came down, climbed up, we meditated, did all the things in Tiger's Nest. And when we came down, we had our guides waiting for us at the bottom on like a little field. And they put out their blankets and they had their prepared foods for us. And we sat down and we had this lovely picnic. And then these two dogs run over. One was obviously a mother because you could see that it had babies had been suckling, and then there was another dog with it, and they ran over, and our guides just laid out some more food for them. And so that was just a beautiful example of everyone is taken care of. There is no one who's left out. And I remember in Bhutan talking about the homeless situation we were experiencing in Los Angeles, and they didn't know what that was. They didn't know what homeless was. And they said, I don't understand. If someone didn't have a home, we would take them in. So I'm just sharing that for what it's worth because it's so inspiring and something for us to remember as a human family that we're here to connect and be there for each other, right?
Yeah,
And
I
that was
feel that.
something I felt really deeply there. And so I'm so happy that that was how we connected in the first place. So
Yes.
it's bringing that teaching back
Yeah.
in this moment.
But knowing you, I was thinking, wow, this is really, she embodies Bhutan, that happiness. But you're just like that. So you're like that without going to Bhutan. But yeah, I could tell it was definitely something that was a dream come true, probably for you going there. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of magical things happen there, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. It was very authentic, that live session with Davidji, that installation.
Aw.
Yeah. Yeah. Love that. There are very few of those, nowadays. So
Mm-hmm.
I appreciated that moment. And is that when you talk about 2001, you said you went to Tibet? Is that when you started getting into meditation and healing, or did it start kind of
Well, you'll see
before?
these, maybe see these paintings behind me, these
Yes.
tankas. These are all from that trip. One is of electric of Kuan Yin is one way of, and then Yaman Tanka, which is facing death, and then Shiva and Shakti. So, and then, but prior to that, that was 2001, and I had in my we have a podcast episode, Davidji and I, called Eat, Pray, Love. It's our like origin story.
Hmm.
And another part of my office are the drawings from Ketut Lear, which I met with him. This is in 2000. It's before Eat, Pray, Love, before Liz Gilbert met with him. And she talks about him in her book. I had been with him in 2000 with this man who had taken us there. So my journey started really when my mother died at the age of 19, and that was in 1994. But I went through, I mean, that was the initiation. I wasn't quite ready. I didn't know how, I didn't have the tools. So I was really challenged and for many years. And then after college, um, I woke up in a sense, and then I was doing all this work on myself and I was in graduate school and went to Tibet, well, went to Bali first and then went to Tibet the following year. In Tibet, I had this experience with this monk. We were climbing in the Himalayan mountains and we found this monk in a cave who'd been there for 6 months. And what happens is they don't really eat, people just bring them food. So they take a vow of silence. So it was one of those experiences, and I sat with him and and meditated with him, and it was one of the impossible to communicate, but a full union experience with the universe, um, and it felt like, gosh, so many things happened in that experience. But I was given a lot of information. One of the things I'll share, I don't share this often, but I think it's being called in this moment. One of the things that came in was he showed me so many things, but that there's this golden thread and it starts here and it goes, I'm tracing it. So it starts on the right palm, okay? And then you can take your left pointer finger, put it in your right palm and just go up your arm all the way to the top of your shoulder and then loop down, make a loop down uh, down your chest and then loop back to your left shoulder and then go over your face, up your face and around like another loop, right? And down the other side of the face over to the top of the left shoulder. Then I take my right pointer finger and go down the other side of the arm through the left palm. So that is the golden thread. And essentially the golden thread runs through all of us. It's what connects us. And and that was given when many things were given. But that thread is the thread that holds us all together. And if we were all here holding hands, all the humans that are listening, all holding hands, that thread runs through us. And it's an infinity. It's an infinity, right? That's moving through us. And it's in the Shadow and the Light podcast. There's the
I
and
know.
is the golden thread. Okay, so the funny thing is, okay, so that was in 2001. Davidji's his what do you call it, logo is that same symbol sideways, which we found out later. So, so there's this connection, another thread. But my perspective is that our thread gets knotted up. It gets, pieces of the thread get coarser, they get lost, and they get knot. There's knots in our threads. And these knots, Knot, knot, are the knots of not enough. And and maybe our work here is to allow ourselves and the challenges we face to sit with those knots when they arise as physical sensations in our body, energetic activations, and to pause and notice. And there's many ways to work with that and allow. I have a acronym, I have a lot, but there's one called WEAK, welcome energy, allow kindness. So we can pause and welcome the energy of that not enough. The not enoughness doesn't feel like it feels weak. It feels like a weakness, but maybe it is, maybe not. I have a mantra, maybe, maybe not. So maybe, maybe not. And we can welcome the energy, allow kindness. And then by doing that, welcoming the energies that is acceptance, which is essential to allow anything to alchemize and allow kindness as love. So it's like loving awareness. Now, I didn't know that, but like I created it one day and then I realized later what it was. These things just kind of happen. But yeah, so the thread of the golden thread, and we're not always feeling that we're in our full alignment or whatever that may mean to people. And so that's okay. That's what we're here to do. We're here to work with the energies inside of us. And so, yeah, that's what you make me think of when I think of Tibet and the journey from then to now, um, is something that is still like really alive and still manifesting in multiple ways.
So and you have this ability then to alchemize therapy and meditation, and it feels very organic. And
Hmm.
I have, hence Davidji calls you the alchemist. I can only agree. So how does it work together? The psyche and the soul, I would say the spiritual and the therapeutic.
So
How does it
I'm
connect?
working on a book, and the book is "The Wound is the Way," but either the subtitle or the title is "You Are an Alchemist." So I'm not an alchemist. Everybody here is an alchemist. Everybody, you are an alchemist, and all my teachings that I've just been blessed to receive in sessions or in life through working with others and groups, um, are ways for us to be able to create light from the shadows we all face. So fear becomes freedom, pain becomes power, whatever it may be. What we tend to do is resist these uncomfortable, dark things and with understanding of how the universal laws work, meaning resistance, acceptance. Let's just be with that. How do you become an alchemist? Well, you are an alchemist. Okay, A. There's nothing you have to do, just understand things, understand how to work with things. So you asked, how do I alchemize psychotherapy, meditation, and mindfulness? I say mindfulness is the bullet train to freedom. What does that mean? It means if we are in talk therapy is very limited. So to me, it's not enough in a sense to if you want to alchemize, which I think everybody does. We need to work with our body, with the energy in our body, in order for us to move beyond the patterns of the past and to be in the fresh newness of who you are in every single moment. You're changing all the time, as is everything. So to be able to be in that, we need to work with the energy in our body. So how do you alchemize the two? You need to bring in the awareness of your body, the awareness, starting to befriend what's happening within you, which isn't always easy. But meditation is a wonderful way for people to start to create safety in their body, to create like to deepen and widen the reservoir of the ability to be present with the things, the weather that moves within us all the time. Right. And so when we do that, when we're communicating like you and I are right now, being also aware of the physical sensations within you, or if you're in a therapeutic process or a meditative process, there's physical. So it's a both. It's, you know, another way to talk about it would be like, okay, this is how I look at humans. We are, we have one foot in the white light of awareness, and we have one foot in the, I'll show you. I have here the rainbow
Mhm. It's one of your
of
projects. Mhm.
yeah, the rainbow. So one foot in the white light, one foot in the rainbow, and the body is the prism. Okay. So what we tend, the rainbow is the experience, it's the emotion. So I can get lost in red, which is could be, let's call it anger. It could start as frustration, it could move to rage. I'm going to give people a tool. I'm really big on tools on this one. How to not be lost in the rainbow of emotion or experience. How to keep one foot in white light is to say, I'm noticing. So I'm noticing frustration, or I'm noticing sadness. I'm noticing instead of I am frustrated, instead of I am, okay. If I'm in noticing, I still have one foot in the white light and one foot in the rainbow. And this is just a languaging tool that's really helpful, right? Because we get so lost in the rainbow. And there's nothing wrong with the rainbow. Nothing is good or bad. It's just to stay grounded. So there's all these like little tools, and that's one of the ways you asked, how do I alchemize? And mindfulness is key. Languaging is key. Mantras are key. Meditation is key. All of these things help us to stay grounded, you know?
Yeah. 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 It's a big piece. I taught a class on mindfulness last night online, and it's so much, accessing the nervous system and those patterns of, um, how do you say in English, tension, for example, in the body, those that you want to just access and even feel, and then go from there, because a lot of trauma is stored in the body. And I think meditation helps to get into that, and then helps
Yes.
probably the therapeutic process. Yeah.
Yeah. And Davidji said recently, in every tension is a teaching,
Well, yeah.
which I love. And that's why
Yeah.
I'm like, the wound is the way, you
Yes.
know? So
Yeah.
that's where we are storing energy that is full of wisdom and, empathy and, energy. It's energy, it's your evolution. And yes, there is trauma, that trauma is stored with emotion and memory and all sorts of things. And so when we are creating more safety in our body through a one-on-one relationship, through our own relationship with ourselves through meditation, we can deepen and widen that window of tolerance that allows us to go deeper
Yeah.
and transmute, which is
Yes.
alchemy. Yeah.
Full circle, Elizabeth. We made a full circle. And
We did.
we did. And part of your work and you mentioned it already, I was going to segue right into that, are your acronyms. And I have to say, I was never into acronyms. Maybe in school a couple of times when I couldn't remember something, but not until I meditated with you. And my favorite one is week. And I've mentioned it multiple times during Davidji's teachings.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So you said it, welcome energy, allow kindness. It,
Yes.
I work with it almost every day.
You do?
Yeah. Because
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
life, there are a lot of to-dos and a lot of challenges. And apparently I still get to practice kindness towards myself.
Of
That's,
course.
what it shows me. And it just softens me. Like I just will take a moment, I'm in my car or I'm, in that autopilot to do. And then I go, wait, weak, welcome energy, allow kindness. And it's like a big exhale, like my whole body just exhales. That's what it
Oh,
does to me. It's so powerful. When did you start coming up with those?
okay. So, uh, full transparency on this. That one came in a group.
Hmm.
I have a group of women that I've been working with. I love books and I've been working with books forever. I used to run a lot of groups on Untethered Soul because if people like that book, then that's the kind of work I do. I've spent a lot of time with um, at the Temple of the Universe with the author Michael Singer. So when I changed everything I do as a therapist was because I fully healed the loss of my mother. I alchemized that. And it was because of Michael Singer's work and really having studied that for so long. That was back in 2015 that I fully healed the loss of my mother through working with energy in my body. So I have a group of women who I've been taking through many, many books for many, many years. And one of them was sharing about something they were challenged by. And they used the word weak. They were talking about another person. And so way it works for me is I'll just get a feeling and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna write that down, WEAK. I'm like, I know there's something here. But I'm in group, but I wrote down the words and it just comes to me. And so I wrote welcome, over maybe 30 minutes. I don't know how long it took, but I mean, I wasn't like fully focusing. I was listening to the group, but it was just there. It's almost like something, is moving through me. And so I wrote welcome energy, allow, oh, no, yeah, welcome energy, allow kindness. I think that I was playing with the A for a little bit, but ultimately that's where we landed. And yeah, so I just made it up. Um, Where's Love and Forgiveness came through another women's group, which I have on Unlimited. That was a similar thing. It just came to me. I was driving home from that group and I was like, let's practice this. I called it the love experiment. This was a long time ago. When we're challenged to say, where's love and forgiveness instead of, you know, whatever. And what it does is that it's a similar thing. Where's love and forgiveness activates it brings attention to love and forgiveness, which are natural to our being. So by just saying, where's love and forgiveness? I did it with my kids when we were little, or they were fighting. I'd say, where's love and forgiveness? And I would see the energy shift. So that's another one. That's not an acronym. Um, but yeah, I have a lot of them. I can go through them if
Yeah.
you want. But yeah,
Yeah.
welcome. The cool thing about welcome energy, allow kindness is it's both it's a practice. When you say it has an effect. And so it's wonderful you're talking about how you use it for yourself, but in this initial creation, my client, I was like, we're welcoming this person's energy and allowing kind of, so you can, you know, it can go outward and inward, because everything outside is also inside, right? Because if something's bothering you outside, you're feeling it inside, but not everyone is aware of that. It's fine. So I'm welcoming this energy and allow kindness. And now in retrospect, to me, welcome energy is acceptance, allowing kindness is love. And to me, that's like when I think of Ram Dass loving awareness, it's like a version of how we can access loving awareness. So,
Yeah. You are the acronym channel. You
yeah,
channel them.
I do.
That's what
We
I was
were
just
doing
thinking. You
we were
just channel
doing
them.
an episode. Gosh, I'm not going to remember which episode it was. Oh, it was on longing. We did an episode, Davidji and I, and while we were in it, I created an acronym. I created
Yeah.
WOMB.
Womb,
It was
it's exactly. I listened to that a few days ago in my car and I was like, womb, I love it. The
yes,
wisdom of my becoming.
the
Yeah.
wisdom of my becoming. So he was talking about longing as longing to be back in the womb. And then I just, again, it was exactly the same thing. I was like, there's something here. There's something here. And I was like, the wisdom of my becoming. So then I'm like, because the womb is still, it's just the present moment now.
Yeah.
We're no longer in the womb of our mother, but we're in the womb of mother, whatever this. I'm not going to name it. This huge, it's unnameable what's happening right now. And so we're in the wisdom. Can we be in the wisdom of my becoming rather than holding on to who I think I am, the concept of me, the concept of you, just allowing everything to be as it is and to be in that fresh newness of my becoming, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
If that makes sense.
yeah, I feel that. And I feel the acronym is like a picture to the mantra, you know, to me, like womb, you have a picture, you feel that. What does the womb feel like? And then you have a
Mm,
mantra with it,
yes.
kind of like
Yes.
that. Or I would interpret it maybe like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and you do work a lot with the heart space,
Yes.
compassion. And,
Yep.
we hear a lot about heart healing, compassion, especially in our bubble. And
Yes.
yeah,
Mhm.
so, it's their concepts, it's a concept. And I wonder how you turn it more into an embodied practice.
Yeah, I'm not really into concepts. I try to get as
Mm-hmm.
much out of concept as possible because to me, and everything's how we define it, it's just how I'm defining concepts, uh, is I want to talk about experience. Like we all have a heart, we have a physical heart, we have an emotional heart. So how is your heart? Anyone that's here listening, how's your heart right now? That's an actual experience you're in. We don't need to conceptualize it, So, how's your heart feeling? Is it tight? Is it peaceful? Is there some weather within you in this moment? What are you noticing? Let's just all pause and just notice what's happening here right now. And starting to have a relationship with your heart, like I mean, children do this naturally. It's like what happens when you walk outside and you look at the moon or see the sunset? How is your heart? What happens when you listen to certain music, when you're around certain people? How is your heart? Noticing how your heart resonates with various, could be even, environments, um, foods, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
starting to really pay attention to that would be a way I would move into a more embodied experience, which is it's so great. Our body's always here.
Yeah,
So
right.
there's nothing to do.
Right.
There's nowhere to
Yeah.
go. It's here now. And so the mind wants to make up a story and all that, and that's fine. Our mind is a wonderful tool, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. And I have experienced that with you during meditation. Last year in September, I was in Portugal working, and I was in the midst of the Masters of Wisdom and Meditation teacher training. And you were a guest speaker,
Yeah.
and you guided us through a heart meditation, and it hit home. I had a big release. Yeah,
You
I was
did.
crying. I was like, wow. So very powerful. Yeah.
What do you remember about that? Or what was different? Was there something different about it, or was it?
You know, I had lost a friend in June, and he was also a spiritual teacher here in Germany of mine. And I, it, yeah, I was grieving still, I think, during that time.
Mm.
But I was also grateful because I went to the funeral on a Saturday, and we started the Masters of Wisdom meditation program on Sunday.
Wow.
So it was like so meant to be. And that whole
Mm.
time was very magical for me, that whole teacher training experience, life changing. And yeah, I don't know if I think it was just your guidance, you know, in that moment, that
Mhm.
helped me release some of that maybe sadness or whatever I was, you know, holding on to.
Yeah,
Because
because
grief's
we're always,
nothing's linear, you know. So
yeah, of
it was a
course.
good moment of release. I couldn't tell you exactly what, but I felt
Yeah,
just like some grief maybe going in that moment. And it was helpful
yeah.
because I would start working the next day. I was hosting a retreat for an entire week. So I felt really light and fresh. It was perfect. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was great. So, you know, we're all going through life, different situations. You know, some of our listeners are transitioning from one period in their life to the next, or they're experiencing illness or stress or whatever it is, you know, we all go through in life. Is there just, I know you have a big toolbox, but just now spontaneously, one simple daily practice you would recommend to move back or return into presence?
Mm. Well, one of my, I'll couple two. I think if you're really in your head, which we all get lost there, I think it's really important to have mantras, you know? And I'm not talking about like I love Sanskrit mantras and things like that. I'm talking about I have all these like lemon mantras, like I held one up, but like if people are struggling with judgment as an example, maybe not is my mantra for that. And this keeps you in the question mark of the present moment, which we've been talking about, staying in that becoming. So how am I, you talked about transition. How am I going to do that? Whatever, the doubts that arise. It's like maybe not allows us to be, I don't know. People are afraid of being in don't know, but don't know, uncertainty is where everything is. So I have these signs and I made it into one of my mantras and I'm pretty sure I have no idea is something that allows us to let go of the need to know or need to figure it out. If we're transitioning, sometimes we need to feel like we need to figure it out. What if you were to say, I'm pretty sure I have no idea. It's okay. I'm safe. Safe. If you're feeling really in transition, I have to say, saying I am safe, creating that safety for yourself, when finding ways to create safety for your body, for your mind, for your heart. I am safe. I am safe. Sometimes you're talking to your younger child that, has meaning your inner child. Okay. So I'm safe and pausing with your heart. Essential. So the mantras are really important to help us drop the fear-based thinking that we get lost in. So that's number one. And then being able to use those, not hating our mind, that's not going to work. That's more our mind. Those are the weeds. So you follow the weeds of the mind to the seat of the heart. And so pausing, so using a mantra. When I think about this is fear. So when we have fearful thoughts, it's a friend existing as resistance. Fear is a friend existing as resistance. So what does that mean? It means, to go with the inner child concept or metaphor, that it's the hand, that fear is a hand reaching up from the heart. It's a friend existing as resistance, and what we resist persists. So what if it's a hand saying, there's resistance in your body, Elizabeth, right now. There's resistance and it's asking you to take its hand. So can I notice that this is just fear? It's a friend existing as resistance. Okay. If I take an elevator from my head to my heart, I can take that hand and I can pause and say, it's okay. You know, I'm safe. I can handle this. I can handle this is the most powerful of all the many mantras that I have here. But I can handle this is the one that we do with our heart. So I can handle this is to be with that energy within. I can be with this. If you don't like I can handle it, I can be with this. I have space for this. I have more than enough space for this. And just breathing with that, and allowing that breath to be that wind, that gentle breeze that moves through the weather that you're feeling.
Yes, I just recalled your meditation a little bit when you talked about the weeds.
Mm,
When, last year I had that powerful moment. I think it was, yeah, it's coming back to accepting whatever is here, but also seeing what is here. It's fear, a lot of us don't even connect enough to see this is what's going on to our emotions because we weren't necessarily taught. So it's
right.
it's a
Yeah.
process, forever a
Hmm.
process.
Forever. It
Yeah,
keeps
forever.
unfolding. Yeah.
Keeps unfolding. And I have to mention this, you have a retreat coming up in Ireland. I'm
I
so
do.
bummed. I'm so
I
bummed I
know.
won't make
I
it.
wish you could come.
I know.
Oh my God. It would be so nice to have you there.
I know. And I was totally thinking it's a magical time. It's like beginning of December, before the holidays. It just already, I was
Hmm.
reading it and I'm like, it feels like a reset before the busy holidays. And
Absolutely.
I
Yes.
tell us, what's your intention holding space there? Who's it for? What are you going to do? I think you're doing this with Luigi. Did I say that?
Yes, Luigi. So for those that may know about a place called the Monroe Institute, it's been around for like 50 years, and they created binaural beats, but they have beyond that. Okay, so
Okay.
they have the most evolved sound science on our planet. So they create frequencies. It's all about frequency. The retreat is called Heart Resonance, the Code of Abundance. And Luigi, so he's a top trainer at Monroe Institute. And basically, we will have these frequencies that create portals, essentially, so that people can access higher levels of healing and transformation and manifestation, um, and beyond. It's limitless. And I've done a retreat with Monroe, so I'm very familiar with their work. I've been working with, I mean, Luigi and I have known each other for over 5 years. We've been working on collaborating, and now this is our very first time we're doing that. We're so excited. So when we went to this incredible place, which feels like the womb, talk about a womb, this place, the sanctuary, is you step on this property and you feel a depth of safety, serenity, peace, abundance. I mean, heart resonance, all of it. So the space that we're doing this in is beyond, cannot even explain to you how powerful it is. They have a walled garden that Luigi and I named the Garden of Eden. We were like, oh my gosh, like everywhere you like, it's like kale, artichoke, like everything you can even imagine. There's just sprouting and abundance, pumpkins, all these things, and that's the food that you'll be eating, and it's tended with incredible love. And then there's this forest surrounding and all these beautiful trees that have personalities that communicate to you. And then, we have incredible people, a lot of Davidji teachers actually, that are coming. And so it'll be really, I'm so excited to do this. And so the two of us together, he's also a lucid dream expert. And the reason that he and I came together, I found him, was because I fully healed the loss of my mother through a dream, as I mentioned. And he's a lucid dream expert. So I became a therapist because of dreams. And so dreams have been a huge part of my life, since I was very young. And so his expertise in lucid dreaming, my full healing of the loss of my mother 20 like 3 years after she died, um is kind of a miracle thing. So there's a synergy that we have, like Davidji and I do, and so we wanted to bring that together and to help others be able to access their path to healing and abundance and creation and whatever that is that they want to manifest in the world. And so it's my experience personally that, the loss of my mother was my initiation and my purpose and my soul's contract, and that so much of what I do and is because of that. And I think I don't know what anyone else's path is, but often the thing that we can't heal or don't think we can heal or are so wounded by becomes the reason, our gift. And so, if that feels like a resonance for you, or there's something that you're wanting to step more fully into or create, like that's who it's for. And it will be incredibly transformational. It's not, you know, a lot of people are doing psychedelics, and I'm totally fine with that. And but this is doing it without psychedelics. It's a way for you to use frequency, because frequency, I mean, you'd use these frequencies, and my some of my stories of what I've experienced are like what I hear from psychedelic experience. It's exactly the same, you know. So it's cool. And we're both really into integrating things, so it's not like you're gonna get home and get this big hit and then it's like, see you later. Like, I'm not into that. We're both psychotherapists. So he's a
Oh,
psychotherapist in England. I'm a psychotherapist here in Los Angeles. Um, so we want people to have these transformations and whatever they want out of it, but at the same time, integrate it and live from this space of coherence. And so what doesn't allow us to do that is the limiting beliefs that we have within us. And so being able to really become more conscious of that and work with that is one of the things that we hope to provide.
it will be alchemy once again.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So if anyone's
That's perfect.
interested, like I mean, I'm just so excited. We're doing that in December, and from the 1st through the 3rd, and then we're doing a longer one in April. Maybe you can come to that one.
I know, I'm looking into it. I'll let you
Okay.
know. You just keep going, keep offering them. One of these days,
Yeah.
I'll make it. And
Yeah.
Ireland's not that far from me,
Yeah.
though I have to go back to LA sometimes too,
Oh,
because
good.
I know a few people, and I haven't been to the States in like 3 years or so. It's been a while.
Okay.
So yeah, one of these days.
I would love it.
Yeah. So I feel like now we have to record a new podcast about dreams
Oh,
and
I would
lucid
love
dreaming.
to. Of
So
course.
I
I'm
didn't,
happy to do that.
that's new information to me
Oh,
about
really?
the, yeah, sorry, I
Well,
didn't know
what do you
that.
have a question that you want to ask about dreams?
Well, you were just saying that's how you got to therapy. So I was like, what were you dreaming? Did you have a prophetic dream that you're going to be
So
a therapist?
when I, no, it's why I wanted to be a therapist. So I started doing dream work when I was like 11, I think. My parents were into it. And so I started, and it was funny. I remember the very first dream work I did was on a rat. Okay. And
Oh,
the full healing of my heart was because I worked with the energy of a rat. So I'd had dreams about rats, which I
oh,
despised, which disgusted me, and that was my shadow, was representing my shadow. And so your shadow has all the power. So, all the
Mhm.
work I do is very shadow work. Thus the Shadow and the Light podcast, right? So when we can approach our shadow, which dreams are often our shadow, it's our unconscious. It's the way in which our unconscious is speaking to us about what we may be ignoring, denying, or just totally unaware of. And so I started working with dreams at the age of 11. And then when um, I started running Dream Group out of my apartment in the Hollywood Hills when I was in my early 20s, just because I thought it was interesting. And then I took a course at this graduate school, Pacifica Graduate Institute, which is near Santa Barbara. And that's where like Joseph Campbell's archives are. It's very Jungian. And so I took the course Dream Tending with the founder, Stephen Eisenstadt. And then I signed up and I went to that graduate school, and that's where I got my master's. So that's the story of that. But and then dreams became the healer of my loss of my mother, which was my defining trauma. So yeah, dreams are a big thing in my
Yeah.
life and about to become a bigger thing doing this thing with Luigi because of his lucid dreaming expertise.
Yeah. Sounds
Yeah.
amazing and very
Yeah.
cool. It's kind of, I haven't heard about a retreat like that personally.
Yeah.
So kind of different too.
It'll be dynamic. And the
Mhm.
other thing that's really, so important, and I guess as a therapist, this is just what you do, is you don't come in with any agenda. Of course, we have ideas and we have plans and all that sort of stuff, but the ability to throw everything away is so key because it's all
100%.
about who's in the room, what they're bringing, and being able to merge so that what wants to be known, what wants to be birthed, what wants to be blessed, what wants to be healed and transformed, it can only happen when we fully merge with what is. And so
Right.
all the human beings that are arriving and signing up already and who will be there, I know is exactly what is intended. And that will create its own, you know,
Mhm.
aliveness and which is so cool. I mean, you know that in your teacher training, any
Yeah, yeah.
group. I love working with groups. I'm an Aquarius. And so is Luigi. So Aquarians are all
Oh,
about group. Yeah, we love group. And I also, I think you probably know I'm really into astrology. I weave
yeah.
astrology into my psychotherapy as well. Yeah, because it's a very big component
I know
too.
we couldn't touch on everything today,
I know.
Elizabeth,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
really into astrology as well. I'm an Aquarius rising with the
Oh,
Cancer moon. I think you have the Cancer moon as well, right?
no,
No.
I'm a Gemini moon.
Oh, Gemini moon. Okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
So my
Yeah.
dad, I think, has a Gemini moon. Anyways, yeah.
What's your
So
what's your sun?
it's Aries,
Aries. Okay, cool.
but it's my only fire sign. And I have a really big first house with interception. So I have a lot of planets in Pisces in the first house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Cancer
Great.
moon and Saturn in the seventh house.
Okay. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Mhm.
Where your moon is in what house?
My fifth house.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So
Nice. I love it.
I, and also my fifth house is a Gemini. So lots of books, lots of conversations. It's active. And I have two
Oh
homes.
yeah.
I lived in the States for 15 years. So
Okay.
that's my other home. But I feel like you see my cat, she's coming into
Oh,
the picture back there.
I love it.
She's like, give me dinner.
Yeah.
She's slowly like approaching from behind.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's interesting astrology to say the least and
Oh.
helpful. I always weave that in as well. If I have
Oh,
time,
you do.
especially on retreat, we bring out the cards and, I even do a little bit of palm reading. I
Oh,
was
you
looking at
do?
your hand a little bit as well when you're lifting it.
Oh.
So I could tell your is your right hand your are you right-handed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you're removing it, yeah, I could tell you're a very generous person.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and you should You can decide in the moment, like gut feeling. You don't need to sleep over any decisions. You can decide on the spot. Yeah, I could
Oh,
see that.
wow.
And do it more relaxed, like hold it up.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's you're independent as we see that pinky when it like goes out like that. Yours is not
Uh-huh.
going out as much, but it shows, we're independent thinkers and
Uh-huh.
people
Very
like to do
much
our
so.
own thing. So
Very much so.
that's
Yeah.
what I can see.
Yeah. Well, I was born with my sun squaring Uranus, which Uranus rules Aquarius. So that's
Mm,
talk about independence.
right.
Really independent. Really
Yeah.
independent.
It's a good thing. We are
Yeah.
embracing it.
Yes. Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you
Yes.
so much, Elizabeth. Are you open to
Yes.
closing our conversation with a guided meditation?
I would love to. I would love to.
Yay.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right. So, I invite everyone who's here to just let go, find a comfortable place to sit, maybe close your eyes, and just allow yourself to come into contact with body, this body that you have. Sometimes it's really not feeling great. Maybe there's pain or strain, or maybe there's a lot of peace in the body. Whatever's happening, let's just be with it. Let's just be with this body. Feel the heaviness. Gravity's holding us all safely on this planet right now. We're all on a planet spinning in space. That's a miracle. We're all here together in so many different places and together at the same time. So just breathing into that. Thanking gravity for holding you safely here. And maybe creating a grounding cord from the base of your spine down to the center of the planet. And all of our grounding cords, even though we're all over this planet, they're all meeting at the center. And we can all give our body and our mind and our heart permission to allow any energy that no longer serves you to release down that grounding cord effortlessly and easily. And then coming into contact with your heart. And if your mind is really restless or distracting, just noticing that it's all fine. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the mind doing what it does. It means I'm alive. So if you're noticing that, just noticing those weeds in the mind and just following them from your head through the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the jaw, slowly moving down into the throat, pausing at the throat, giving yourself permission to be open to what's here inside your body. Breathing a gentle yes into the throat. And then falling into your shoulders, maybe even lifting them up and back. We tend to carry burden in the shoulder or grief. So just maybe rolling them a little bit, allowing that to move. And then bringing your hands to your heart, the center of your chest, and place them there. And feeling that movement of the breath. As you breathe in, your hands move out. And as you exhale, your hands fall in. And just noticing if there's any activation of energy here, any weather, any tension. Just noticing it. Maybe it's a heaviness. Maybe it has color. Maybe it has a form inside your body. Maybe it's in your belly. It might not be in the heart. If it's somewhere else, you can place that hand there as well. What we're going to do is just pair that breath with welcoming this energy. As we breathe in, we welcome this energy that's within us and allow kindness to mix with whatever we're noticing inside our body. It could be emotion, could be physical strain, emotional pain. I'm welcoming this energy and allowing kindness to mix with it as I breathe. Welcoming energy and allowing kindness to mix with it. And any pain we have, pain becomes power as I notice. So we're just noticing pain is power as I notice. And how do you notice? By welcoming the energy and allowing kindness. And that gentle breath is like a gentle breeze that allows that kindness to move to deeper reservoirs within you, all the way to the tips of your toes, to the top of your head, and beyond your body. We're welcoming the energy even around our body in our auric field, welcoming the energy around you and allowing kindness to mix with that. And as you breathe more into the room you're in, welcoming the energy within this room and allowing kindness to expand. And moving beyond this space of this room, moving into the neighborhood you're in, the city, the country, welcoming the energy and allowing kindness to expand into the sky, into this planet, welcoming the energy and allowing kindness as big as you want it to be. Feeling your breath in your body, feeling your hands on your heart or wherever you have placed them. Welcoming the energy and allowing kindness and feeling those hands, knowing that that grounding cord is here, still effortlessly and easily allowing any energy that doesn't serve you to continue to move down to that magma and transmute into fresh, new light, feeding our planet. So that's happening like roots beneath us, coming back to your breath, feeling your hands, taking a moment to just can come into communion with your heart, making a commitment to your heart. What do you want to commit to with this beautiful heart you have been given? Connect with that and maybe place your hands in prayer as you bow your head to your heart with that commitment. And then coming back into an open eye. How is that?
I have to collect myself.
Yeah.
It was great. It was the second meditation of the day.
Yes.
So thank you for that, Elizabeth.
You're
Thank
so
you.
welcome. Thank you.
Ah, that was amazing. Everything.
Good.
I hope we do it again.
Anytime.
So
Anytime.
thank you for being on the Veda Talks. I hope we get to meditate more, get to connect more here and there and in Ireland, hopefully.
Yes,
Soon. I
please.
will link everything in the podcast and on social media so people can connect to you and all the wonderful projects because there's so many. We couldn't cover them all today.
Okay.
So
Yes.
thank you,
Thank you so
Elizabeth.
much. Thank you
Have
for
a
all that you
wonderful
do.
time
Oh, thank you.
in Ireland.
I will. I will.
And yeah, talk
Thank you.
soon.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Right.